Hello, everyone. We are from University Canada West. The module is MBAF 504, Business Economics, from Professor Mokhtar Tabari. Our group are Gagandip, Kirti Verman, Lovepreet, Shreya, Yamini, and I, Alessandra. We are going to talk about Airbnb. This news that we got, this news is from May 5th, 2022, so it's a new uh, um, published, and it's talking about how Airbnb survived from the strike of COVID-19. Because as everyone knows, Airbnb rely on traveling and hosting people, and it was a very difficult time for the company. And my colleagues and I will explain how it all happens. Shaya, you can go on.
Yes, thank you, Alessandra. Opportunity cost and the market. Opportunity cost is the price you pay for a choice you make by letting go of the best alternative. So, in in our project, we are talking about the Airbnbs. So, for a person or a host to put their home as an Airbnb property, they have to sacrifice something, and that is their opportunity cost. So, to have that extra income by putting their home as an Airbnb rental, they are giving up their um, vacations or quality time with their families in order to supply a comfortable and luxurious stay to a guest. So that is the opportunity cost of putting your home as a rental property. So my colleague Yamini will continue from here. Thank you.
Consumer rationality. In consumer rationality, it is based on the satisfaction and the trust of the consumer because it shows the relationship between that. And also in Airbnb, it is considered a share economy at the best practice. Every day, many tourists choose to stay with foreigners rather than staying in the hotel because they prefer Airbnb because of its quality of space and budget of every customer because everyone needs uh, ev- the priority of everybody is first budget. For example, the availability of washing machine and it is mentioned like that, and everyone is based on the household amenities. It is a basic necessity for each and every human being. In according to the Airbnb, it may increase or decrease the supply to meet a demand for a very short period, and the further will be explained by the another member, and that is Katie Woman.
Okay, hi all. I'm going to let you know about the price determination of Airbnb. So basically, the price determination in Airbnb is done through the dynamic pricing way method, or it is also called as real-time pricing method. Here, the prices adjust automatically based on the market supply and demand. So there are a few factors that depend on the pricing that determine the pricing like location, property type, amenities, target space, and many more. So here the flexibility is more as like if you, for instance, if you take for the for festivals or summer break or any other national events, the prices are going to be high. And if it is off season and there is no tourism or no people traveling from the world to their part, so here the prices are low. So the prices are determined with these factors mainly. So on moving to the next topic, market structures. Here in Airbnb, there is no proper business model. They have they generally use the peer-to-peer online services, which helps the small and even the part-time service providers to rent places or uh, 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 host the places which they have. So they generally connect through this online platform. So that is the only way they operate. It is like Uber. So they're like a third party. They don't have direct contact with the host and the traveler. They just create a platform for them to collaborate with each other and rent the place. So it is basically an oligopolistic market structure where where the revenue is more, and because there is a lack of competition for them. And the main three segments are the host, travelers, and the photographers. The host are the persons who host the home for give the home for the rent. The travelers are the persons who rent the place, and the photographers play an important role here. The photographers generally take high quality photos of the property, and the most bookings done for the photos, best photos are paid higher. So on moving to the next topic, my friend Yamini will be explaining. Thank you.
Uh, in labor market, it's in the previous slide. It is mentioned that the main segment of the market is also host. In Airbnb, it connect people who have access to accommodation with those looking for the accommodation for their vacation and for like any kind of thing. And this could be any apartment you rent, or you can also the availability of looking for availability of room. In recent time, Airbnb introduced the ability of some list of owners to select the co-host, and they allow to perform the specific tasks, such as they can provide put their luggage into their rooms and also provide keys, etc. And in some of the other factors, like Airbnb also gives co-hosts to perform the task, like to do management as well. In Airbnb, it also recently launched a team collaboration tool in which they do lots of things together, and they the rate of unemployment will be increased by this. And also it increase like the if the rate of unemployment increase, then the supply of labor will be reduced. And also it affect on the household income, because the expansion of the Airbnb, the income will also be increasing according to the time. And the next part will be explained by the another member, Shreya.
Thank you so much, Yamini. I will take it from here. So, I will talk about elasticity and the distribution of wealth. So, as you know, the demand for housing is quite inelastic, which means that even if the prices go up, people cannot do much about it. And due to with the expansion of Airbnbs, there has been a lot of effect on the housing prices. As the number of Airbnb properties have increased over time, supply for long-term houses, they have decreased, and housing costs and rents, they are soaring. And moving on to the next thing, which is distribution of wealth. So, due to this, people who are able to put their houses or sorry, list their houses as Airbnb properties are mostly people who have multiple houses to rent. So, um, this kind of setup has always benefited the people who are rich. It's like making the rich even richer. So the reapers of the benefits from this augmentation are already wealthy people, as I said, as they have multiple houses to rent. So people, they are mostly white people, and other people, they have to suffer because of this, like black people or Hispanic. They just hold insignificant amount of wealth. They do not have many properties to rent, so they are on the losing side. Although the percentage of wealth has increased over the years, but the white people still hold a appreciable amount of wealth. And now the last part of this presentation will be done by Alessandra.
Thank you, Shreya. I'm going to talk about the welfare, and it's interesting because the policy, it in the same time that the policies of most of the countries protect the ownership. In the same way, they want to protect the government that need the taxi to keep the maintenance of the streets and everything. And what Airbnb caused when they come to the marketing is exactly the opposite. The governments lose lodging from taxes because the Airbnb rentals don't follow the regulations that hotels and hostels need to follow. In the same way, um, in the same time that it brings employment for people who have an extra house to rent or to clean and spend time on advertisement and everything, it also causes unemployment in hospitality markets. So it's the two sides of the same coin. In the same way that some people benefit from Airbnb service, some other people and the government don't have any um, profit from that. Um, I'm going to talk also about externalities. In externalities, we can have a negative side and a positive side. I want to talk a bit of each one. And again, it is based on the news that was released on May 2022. So these externalities, in the negative side, we have the regulation because, as I said before, Airbnb rentals don't need the regulations that the hotel and hostels need. They don't need to have license. They don't need to pay extra tax for receive travelers in their house because it's their house. And in the same way, we have the disturbance in the neighborhood because who is renting the house don't know who they are going to receive, if it's a good people or not good people, if they are going to party or not. So um, and the government, in the same way, spend money with Airbnb rentals because if they need, in a case of an emergency, an ambulance or a police service or something like that, it comes from the government, right? And the Airbnb rentals don't pay extra tax for this. They don't have any kind of insurance for the travelers who went to the house. And in the positive side, we have the increase of local economy because the place, for instance, in Canada, if in Vancouver they start to have a lot of travelers coming from Airbnb uh, um, application and renting house through Airbnb, they will increase local economy. Um, and the price is when you have an amount of supply and the demand it's balanced, so the price also will be balanced, and it gives more alternative for increasing local economy, like shops, supermarkets, personal care, cultural activities. Because when someone comes to another place to have a vacation, for instance, they are not going to stay at home whole day. So they are going out, they are going to have dinner out, they are going to know places in the city that they are visiting, and it helps the local economy, and it give more alternatives for the travelers for who is going in a vacancy. um, and going on, I'm going to the conclusion, and I'm talking about the conclusion strictly related to the news that we chose. the strategies to stay on the marketing that Airbnb used during these 2 years, 1.5, almost 2 years of down. It was really, really clever. They lose a lot with the closer, the border closed, and the flight cancellations. And what they did was to shift the rental for foreigners to local community. So, and also they shift from short-term rental to long-term rentals, and it helps them, helps the rentals, the ownership, to not worried about papers, about everything, because all the bureaucracy part is the Airbnb who do, and they just need to do the hospitality part, that is leaving the premises with the good condition to receive the guests. Um, and one strategy that Airbnb used when the COVID-19 started was use remote work as a strategy to show free lifestyle. So if you are going to work remotely, you can travel. Like I'm from Vancouver and I can go to Alberta and work from home. I don't need to be in the place. So they use this marketing strategy to during this challenging time, and uh, they get the opportunity that corporate flights is still, until today, is still under 50%. So they use the marketing for companies within the country to travel and know new markets um, within the country, and it was a very good strategy. And in the beginning of this year is when they start to have a free cash flow again, and it's amazing because they stay basically 2 years out of the market. I would like to thank you, Professor, for all the the concepts that he taught us, and I hope we could um, show in this presentation that what we learned in this module. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.